Hello and welcome back to Asia Now, where I bring you guys the top stories and hot topics from around the Philippines. In this video, I'll tell you about two ex-Filipino police charged with the Miss Universe and her Israeli boyfriend's demise, 19 police officers in Davao dismissed, find out why, airport employee finds a bag full of cash and returns it without taking anything, Filipino are among the most positive in the world, and a woman cuts off her husband, and more. Before we start today's video, take a quick second if you're new to the channel and want to show some love, hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, and let's start off with today's exchange rate. 1 USD is equal to 58.48 pesos. The money goes a long way here in the Philippines, which is a reason for many of us to be here. Let's get into our main story. Actually, this story broke yesterday, right as I was uploading my video, so it's a bit late, but here's the full story. Charges have been laid against two former police officers and other suspects in the offing of Pampanga beauty queen Geneva Lopez and her Israeli boyfriend Yitzhak Cohen are expected to be filed in the next few days. At a news briefing at Camp Crane yesterday, the former police officers implicated in the crime were identified as Michael Guyang, allegedly the mastermind whose motive was rooted in a land dispute, and Romal Abuso. Philippines National Police Chief Gen Romal revealed that the two former police officers held the rank of patrolman. Investigation showed that Guyang had pawned a piece of land to Lopez, who refused to return it, according to Criminal Investigation and Detection Group. Lopez and Cohen were supposed to meet Guyang and Abuso, who was introduced as a potential buyer of the land, according to Francisco. During the meeting, the couple was assaulted by two suspects. I quote, "It was a planned activity. One day before the incident, Guyang and Abuso discussed their plan to off the couple," Francisco said. He added that Guyang had borrowed money from Lopez and could not pay it back. Lopez then wanted to take the parcel of land pawned to her by Guyang. Abuso, posing as a buyer, would then have paid Lopez the money Guyang owed. Police mentioned that a prime witness, only identified as Junjun, was initially involved in the crime, but had a change of heart and approached the CIDG to provide information about the incident. This witness was present with Abuso during the crime and has been crucial in piecing together the sequence of events, according to Francisco. And that was some up-to-date detail on the story about yesterday that we covered about the Miss Universe and her Israeli boyfriend. A sad story, may they rest in peace. Next up, Davao axes 19 cops. Station commanders of 19 police stations in Davao City were relieved yesterday following a series of removals and replacements of police officers in the city. No reason was provided for the removal. I quote, "This move is part of the duty work of the regional director to assign and reassign officers," said the police regional officer. "The relief is unrelated to the June 10 raid of fugitive Apollo Cubeloy's properties," De La Rey told the Star. Southern Mindanao Regional Police Office Chief Gen Nicholas Torre ordered the relief of the 19 police chiefs, reassigning them to posts in Davao Oriental, Davao del Oro, Davao Occidental, and Davao del Norte, and the regional office. Now, there isn't really much information of why they got relocated and reassigned new positions, but one can assume it's probably due to bad behavior, especially since they're not going to mention a reason for it. I kind of want to read a comment that was at the bottom of this post. Someone says, "It is sad that whenever heinous crimes are committed, police officers are always involved, be in active service, retired, or dismissed. They become killers of the people they have sworn to serve and protect. The commission of crimes by the police officers has put the PNP in the bad light. It will take decades for the PNP to win back the trust and confidence of the people in the police." That's the thing in any country, right? My own as well, and any country in the world. When the police commit a crime, it takes a long time to change public's perception, especially because it takes a lot of actual discipline and a moral code to be in position of power and still do the right thing. So yeah, unfortunate, two stories have been involving either current or previous cops. Let's just stay the negative mindset here a little bit of update about what happened to those Chinese businessmen that were taken and terminated. A lot of you guys mentioned in the comment section that it was the Chinese people doing it themselves. At the time, I didn't say the nationality of the people because I had no idea. It wasn't released. There was one person in the comments that told me it was a local news article or show in Tagalog or Bisaya. I can't remember the dialect, but obviously it wasn't in English. But they said that there were Chinese people involved. But turns out today there was actually 5 Chinese nationals, or at least they said foreigners, we're assuming they're Chinese, and 3 Filipino peoples, 8 people involved. So there you go. I guess you guys were kind of right about that as well. It's always something to consider because whenever there's illegal activity, especially within a certain type of people, it's very obvious, or the first person you go to is the friends, co-workers, colleagues, and people within their own circle before going outside that. And I'm assuming they just hired some locals to help them with the job. So yeah, there's that update as well. Now let's switch over to some more positive stuff. An airport cleaner at Laguindingan Airport found and handed over a bag with 50,000 pesos left behind at the arrival area on Monday. Joshua Bustamante, the cleaner, quickly informed the airport staff to locate the owner. The bag was claimed by the female passenger from Manila at 9 a.m. Bustamante was lauded by the Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines for his honesty and professionalism. Yeah, this is quite often now we see somebody at the airport, at least 3 times that I can remember recently, where they found money and returned it. I must say, as someone that's, I would say, average income, I don't know, I'd definitely hesitate before giving back the money, but big ups to these people, very, very big respect to them to be able to have a regular cleaning job, I assume at not very high pay, and still return money on a regular basis in the Philippines. So some positive news. I think people like him should definitely be rewarded, maybe not monetarily, but they should be recognized for their honesty, because, you know, in today's world, we definitely need it. Let's stay in the airport. A little bit of news from LA. A Boeing jetliner, once again, Boeing, taken off from LA, lost a wheel Monday on the latest of strings of safety scares for the aerospace giants. The United Airlines, which operated the Boeing 757, said the plane lost the wheel after leaving LA International Airport, but landed safely in Denver, its intended destination. Stories like this are happening a lot more often with Boeing, as I'm sure most of you know by now, a lot of incidences. One thing I had no idea about, actually, Boeing has got a lot of contracts with the United States government with its military and providing some kind of machinery or equipment, I'm going to say it that way, to the United States government. So kind of a conflict of interest, right? You want these people to basically pay for what they've done, to all those lives lost in the air, and nobody's going to prison because that's how corporations work. But I guess on the other hand, US is using them, the government is making, giving them contracts still. So it's kind of, I don't know, nothing's gonna happen to them, I feel like. No matter what Boeing does, nobody's gonna go to prison, they're just gonna get a fine for a few $100 million, which is nothing to them, and then back to the same nonsense there is. So yeah, another incident in the air with Boeing. Next up, Filipinos are among the most positive globally, but sadness takes a toll. So the Philippines scored a very high 82 on the Positive Experience Index in 2023, as the pleasant feelings were more pervasive than negative ones. A DC-based firm, Gallup's 2024 Global Emotion reports the country scored 82 out of 100 on the Positive Experience Index. This means 82% of Filipinos reported more positive emotions the day before the survey was conducted. The score puts the Philippines in the 5th place globally, on par with Malaysia, Senegal, and Thailand, indicating that pleasant feelings are more pervasive than negative ones. Notably, 75% of Filipino adults reported learning or doing something interesting the day before the 2023 survey, ranking them 3rd in the world. This is well above the global average of 54%. Lastly, while the countries score highly on positive experiences, the Philippines did not rank exceptionally low on negative ones. The country reported a score of 35 out of 100 on the Negative Experience Index. Kind of a cool survey. I mean, it's not science, obviously. I never trust anything like this, but I can tell you from my own personal experience, Filipinos are the happiest people I've ever seen in my life from any country, which is why it's my base, and I'll continue to say that forever, because they're just some of the nicest, happiest people with my own personal interactions. Next up, a scary story, especially for the guys out there. A 55-year-old woman was in Baguio City who suspected her husband had been unfaithful to her and cut off her spouse's. Well, okay, nobody's touching me with a knife near there or with a razor, whatever. I honestly don't know what I would do if somebody done chop off my ding dong. I'd just be like, I don't know what I'll do with my life. I mean, this, as a man, I think all the men would agree that you pretty much lose purpose in life. Anyways, let's go on to take a look at our segment Yesterday Today, where I read some of the more popular comments of our previous video. Yesterday's main story was about the potential 2-year digital nomad visa that the Philippines wants to offer for those working online. Jay Hype Sullivan says, whoa, that would be amazing. 12-month visa? Man, still watching. I've never been. I would be forever grateful for the opportunity to even set foot in the land of the Philippines. What's holding you back, man? Get on a plane, save some money, and get your butt over here to the Philippines. And that brings us to the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, take a quick second, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. It really motivates me to make these videos and keep bringing you guys top stories from around the Philippines and other parts of Asia, or just travel on a daily basis. And I really enjoy talking to you guys. I feel like I'm checking in with my buddies. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.